A few years ago, at 58 years old, I made a decision that shocked some of my family and friends. I decided to leave corporate life and leave the Bay Area and move over to Chiang Mai, Thailand. This was not something done out of fear or worry. It was really intentional and something that had sat in the back of my mind for quite a long time. I first came to Thailand in 2000, so about 26 years ago. And I kept coming back, going in different parts, but I really ended up in Chiang Mai, which is a city that I do love quite a lot. And it was always in the back of my mind that at some point in my life I would probably end up here in retirement. So what happened is in November of 2023, I was part of a corporate layoff. I was working for a small ed tech company, and the CEO and I decided that they didn't really need somebody at my level, at a director level. And so we agreed that I would leave. And at that point, I was trying to figure out what it was that I wanted to do. And to be quite honest, I was a little burnt out with the whole corporate life, especially with recruiting, because we were just beginning to see the market downturn where eventually a lot of people were going to get laid off. And the market, as it is today, was becoming very, very challenging. So I decided that for me, the most important thing was I really wanted to make an impact and see if I could help people. And I decided to become a career coach. And within that decision, I worked on that for 4 or 5 months. And then I just decided that the Bay Area was just not where I wanted to be anymore. And it had nothing to do with California. It had more to do with the lifestyle and what was going on in corporate America, that my goals, my values were just not aligned with that life anymore. So I sat down and thought about, intentionally, what is it that I wanted to do and where did I want to be? And the idea to come to Thailand was really first and foremost in my mind. I still had, a number of friends who lived in Chiang Mai, and I decided that I was just going to go out for 90 days and kind of see what happened. So I applied for a tourist visa, got the tourist visa, and interestingly enough, in July of 24, when I came out here, is when Thailand made some decisions to change some things on the immigration side. So the visa exemption went from 30 days to 60 days, which really didn't impact me at this point because I had a 60-day visa. And they had introduced something called the DTV, which was the Digital Nomad Visa. So I came out to Thailand, I came to Chiang Mai really with not necessarily no plan, but a mindful intention that this is where I wanted to be, and a belief that I could make the coaching business work here and I could make my life work out in a way that would make me happy and bring a lot of calm and clarity into my life. And so I flew out in late July of 2024, got myself situated in Chiang Mai in a few different Airbnbs, and just started living here. Working on the language and remembering what it was like to be in Chiang Mai, because I hadn't been back in like 6 or 7 years. With COVID and everything else that had happened, travel was just difficult. And so, I ended up here. I met a beautiful partner about my age, and we're actually getting married this month, so that's exciting. And I just built my life around, coaching and just trying to live a simple life with more clarity, with more calm, and just trying to knock anxiety and stress out of my life. And that's really what I've accomplished here. So what I found on reflection of, being here for the last 18 months is a few things that I wanted to share. First of all, a lot of people feel like their identity is tied to their career. And I thought that too for a long time. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I think what I found out for me is that the corporate values and what was going on in the US was not aligning with my purpose, with what I wanted to do. And so I realized that I could be impactful, I could help people. I did not have to be a recruiter. And I really thought when this all happened at 58 years old that, finding a job in recruiting leadership was going to be difficult for me anyway. So I started the career coaching thing, and, I've been able to help and impact, quite a number of people. And it's been good that I've been able to help them. But I realized that what my identity is really tied to are my desires and what I want to accomplish in my life. And it wasn't necessarily about riding the corporate ladder or how much money I was going to make. It was really about living a calm and anxiety-free life. I also came to the realization that fear really does exaggerate risk, and that's something that I want to share, because I think a lot of people wake up every day and go to bed every night and think about how bad things are, how bad the job market is, how bad their situation is, that they're never going to find anything. And I think that sort of fear really does exaggerate risk, and it exaggerates your reality, because I'm a believer that you create your own reality in your mind, and that's what you need to do. And if you start with, I'm scared about everything or I'm worried about things, then that's the reality that you're going to create. So I think for me, what I realized is that I needed to get fear out of my life. And look, I'm not perfect, but I wake up every day and I go to bed every night with the same thought about abundance and mindfulness, and just trying to live clean and simply as I can. And so where all this is going is that I believe in teachers like, Dr. Joseph Murphy and Neville Goddard. And I really do believe that manifestation is a real thing. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as these videos progress on YouTube. But just as a baseline, right? Manifestation isn't magic. It's really about understanding what your desires are, and then having the belief and faith that these things have already happened. As Neville would say, living in the end is very, very important. And that's what I try to do. So what I would tell people is change at any point in your life, whether it's like me, I'm 60 years old now and I made these changes at 58, or you're doing it when you're younger. It doesn't matter. It always can happen. And it's always appropriate to think about what your desires are and what it is that you really want, and build your own path. You don't need to live according to other people's values. You need to live according to your own values. And so that's what I've learned from these teachers. And what I've learned about manifestation too is it's really about setting an intention and putting the right thoughts into your subconscious mind, and letting your subconscious mind and your intuition guide you. And I think if you do that from a positive state of knowing what your desires are and believing that those things have already happened, then those things will harden into fact. And these are lessons that I've learned because I used manifestation to come here and build a life. Initially I came for 60 days and extended that to 90, but now I've been here for 18 months and I've got the right visa. I used manifestation to help me achieve that too, to achieve the right partner, and to achieve earning enough money here to live a good life. So that's just what I wanted to share. I hope everybody has a really wonderful day and continuing to think positively. And you don't have to be like me and move halfway across the world, but really think about what are your desires, what do you want to accomplish, and try to live in the end result of those things and not live in the wanting stage. In other words, saying these things will happen. I will have money. I will get a girlfriend or a boyfriend. I will get married. I will have success. Instead, focus on that those things have already happened, and I really do believe that those things will harden into fact. So more videos to come. I love living in Chiang Mai, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Thanks for listening. And if this showed any value to you, or you want to hear more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. There'll be more content to come in the future. Sawadi krap, as they say here, which means goodbye, and chok di, which means good luck to everybody. And I'll see you all in the comment sections. If you have any questions about Thailand or any questions about why I did this, drop them in the comments and I'll be happy to answer. Take care, everyone.